35 to 37. In verse 36, he talks about we are sheep to be slaughtered. And then when he gets to verse 37, he does what is called in English an anakaluthi or an anakaluthon. He makes a shift in what he's talking about. He's talking about trials and trouble. But then when he gets to verse number 37, he's talking about victory and conquering. Paul says that the two go hand in hand because you got to be able to be defeated to understand victory. You got to be able to have some L's to understand some W's. You got to be able to know how God can take care of you when you can't take care of yourself. And this shout ain't for everybody, but this is for the folk that have had some L's in your life. And you thank God that the victory is in your hands because God helps us to know that victory is mine. Tell your neighbor, victory is mine. How do you know victory is mine? Watch what Paul does here. I got excited when I started reading this because Paul uses a Greek phrase. And this Greek phrase, more than conqueror. It's not just one word by itself, but he couples together more than conqueror. Because he wants us to understand that it is the Greek word hypernike. It is where we get our English word Nike from. It carries the idea that I'm not just victorious, but he says I'm overwhelmingly victorious. I didn't just win, but I really won. Let me see if I can help y'all understand that. My son's team played a team in the 7th grade, and they beat them, Roderick, 78 to 18. It wasn't just a win. It was an overwhelming win. They weren't even close to catching up. And all I'm trying to tell somebody today is that when God is on your side, the enemy ain't even close to catching up. You don't just sometimes win, but I always win. And there ought to be some folk in here that can testify that everything you've been through in 2019, that God was setting you up so that you can win. How many of you know that you can win? Well, if you know that you are a winner, I dare you to act like you're in the winner's circle. How should you act in the winner's circle? You ought to lift up your hands and begin to praise God. Begin to testify that can't nobody do me like Jesus. Can't nobody do me like the Lord because he walks with me and he talks with me. Tell your neighbor, say neighbor, I introduced myself to you on Tuesday night. Do you remember what my name is? Well, let me remind you one more time. My name is Victory. Somebody shout victory. Somebody shout victory. Is mine. Is mine. Is mine. Grab your other neighbor and say, neighbor, I don't know what you're going through. I don't know the burden that you're bearing. But what I do know is that you're more than a conqueror. How do I know you're more than a conqueror? Because he died on an old rugged cross, rose again on a third day morning with all power in his hand. Somebody shout all power in his hand. And I'm victorious because he's victorious. Shout victory is mine. Yeah. You better act like you victorious. You better act like you won. I know the enemy's been bothering you, but there's a certain language for us. And praise keeps the enemy off of your back. Open up your mouths and bless his name. Bless his name. Bless his name. Bless his name. Everybody standing all over the building.